Hello, I am Kenneth Rivera, and I will be your speaker for today's TED Talk. Before I start, I will leave one question. Are you aware of the Soji bill? So let's answer that question later. First and foremost, let's discuss first what is gender and sex. So according to my research, gender refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviors, expressions, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, and gender diverse people. On the other hand, sex refers to the different biological characteristics of males and females, like reproductive organs, etc. So, story time. Way back ago, one time, one of my teachers asked me, Kenneth, are you gay? From that moment, I am speechless. And I don't know how to react to that question, to that particular question. And it left me unquestionable. The confusion I experienced regarding my sexual orientation is one particular aspect of my childhood that really sticks out to me. So I can still recall being different from my friends as a child and wondering if I was gay. I was having a hard time figuring out how to deal with my emotions and come to terms with who I was. I was exposed to societal expectations and traditions during the time I was growing up, which frequently reinforce heterosexual ideas, I therefore experienced pressure to uphold these standards and repress any emotions that went against the planned story. I was confused and doubtful of myself because of this internal struggle, which was fueled by my fear of standing out from the crowd and passively being rejected by them. At the same time, I found myself drawn to the individuals of the same gender and experienced emotions that I could not fully explain. The same goes for people of the same gender. I began to doubt whether I was gay because of these sensations of attraction to men and connection, which increased my doubts about my sexual orientation. To be honest, I don't really know what LGBT is. My upbringing lacks lack of LGBTQI plus identity portrayal and candid discussions worsened my uncertainties and feelings of loneliness. So I did my research because I was really confused about my sexual orientation and I found out that I was gay because research says that if you're gay, you are attracted to your same sex. And yes, I am attracted to men. So now, we are going to expand our knowledge about Soji. So I asked you earlier, are you aware of Soji? What is Soji? It is really important to discuss up today. So first, Soji stands for sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Next question, do sexual orientation and gender identity mean the same thing? The answer is no. Sexual orientation and gender identity are two different concepts. When we say sexual orientation or sexuality, it is a person's form of attraction to others. In fact, or fun fact, we can discover our sexual orientation without being sexually active. Yes. So, here's some, but not all, different types of sexual orientation. Yes. First is heterosexual. Heterosexual, an individual who is attracted to the opposite sex or what we call straight, or the male and female, female to male. So that's heterosexual. Next is gay. Gay used to describe persons, specifically men, who are romantically or sexually attracted to persons of the same sex. So that's my sexual orientation. I am attracted only to men to men. Third is lesbian. A woman who has a romantic or a sexual orientation toward women. So women to women. Next is bisexual. This type of sexual orientation describes people who are attracted to more than one gender. Bisexual person can be attracted to gay person, to lesbian, or even to a straight person. That's bisexual. Next is asexual. Asexual are not sexually attracted to anyone. Next is queer. Describes sexual or gender identities other than straight and cisgender, which is the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people may all identify with the word queer. Some people may identify as queer because they feel that their pre-existing gender identity or sexual orientation does not match them. According to a 2020 article, they could believe that by referring to themselves as queer, they might establish a connection with LGBTQIA+ communities without explicitly identifying as such. And last is pansexual. Pansexual is sexually or romantically attracted to people regardless of their sex or gender. So, why do some people identify as gay and others as straight? So, to that question, there is no easy response. A person does not consciously determine their sexual orientation. Rather, a person's sexual orientation is merely an inherent or aspect of who they are. Next is gender identity. When we say gender identity, refers to the individual identification of a person's gender as defined by that person and can differ from their sex assigned at birth. So here's some but not all gender identity terms. First is transgender. When we say transgender, someone whose gender identity is different from the one they were assigned at birth might identify as transgender. It may not align with the genitals we are born with or to be part of the gender binary or the male or female. For example, some may be born with vagina but know themselves to be male, or someone may be born with a penis but know themselves to be female. So that's transgender. Next is cisgender. Describes someone whose gender matches what they were assigned at birth, or what we call the cisgender men and the cisgender women. They are straight men and female and match their assigned sex. So next is genderqueer. Someone may identify as genderqueer if their gender identity is neither male nor female, is between or beyond genders, or is some combinations of genders. And last is gender neutral. Someone who feels they are neither male or female may identify as gender neutral. So that's gender identity. And lastly, gender expression. It refers to the way one expresses their gender identity. So it is a physical appearance or physical manifestation rather of one's gender identity through clothing, through hairstyle, through voice, or through body shape, etc. So many transgender people want to align their gender expression or how they appear with their gender identity, who they are, instead of the sex that was assigned to them at birth. According to research, gender expression is not really related to someone's gender or sex, but rather about personal behaviors and interests. And trans women might not enjoy wearing dresses or gowns, whereas a cis male might wear nail polish. So people don't always feel safe enough to express their gender in the ways they would like to. For this reason, it is important to avoid assuming someone's gender just because how they look. And that particular teacher told me that I had the girly movement, or what we call feminine. But we cannot define someone's gender expression just because they are feminine or masculine. I am gay and I am express myself in a feminine one, but I can also express myself in a masculine, but I am not straight. You get the point, right? So a person's gender identity is not necessarily reflected in their gender expression. we may build a more accepting and affirming culture that values and embraces the diversity of human experience if we acknowledge the intricate details of soji. So regardless of a person's gender identity, sexual orientation, or expression, we must never stop fighting for gender equality and fairness for all. And that's all. I hope you understand the differences of sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Thank you.